into action. I wanted to tell this story that was grounded in a story that seemed familiar, but I almost saw it kind of like a fable in a way. I wanted it to kind of exist 1 foot off the ground as we knew it. Terry came from a bunch of writing that he gave me at one point that it was kind of about 4 different characters, and one of the characters was this story about this kid in a small town that wore pajamas and had a particular way of looking at life and dealing with life, and I thought this could be a great film. You know, with Mama's Man, I had made a decision that it had to take place in the winter, I wanted the way the city looked, I wanted the way my parents' house looked in the city during the winter. I knew it had to be shot then. So, and the idea of waiting an extra year I knew would be impossible. I know the story would be over with, and I wouldn't want to be telling the story another year later. So that kind of forced something on me. And then it really was the same situation with Terry. I mean, I felt very strongly that I knew that we could only shoot in either during Christmas break or during the summer when school was out, and that kind of gave me 2 spaces to be in, and I just aimed for the first one that was possible. I thought the chances of it happening in Christmas would be very, very slim. And I think it's just, I don't think I can get anything going without unrelenting pressure. Yeah, the casting was a huge challenge for a lot of reasons. One being that I never worked with kids, and 2, that these kids that we needed to cast were so particular. I mean, I wound up seeing one kid after another that wound up being amazing possibilities, and it was so exhausting just to kind of picture each film. It was something I never really had to do because I always wrote with somebody in mind before I had Mikey in mind, or if I was writing for Diaz or Gerardo or my parents or anything like that. This is the first time that I really could have made this film or that film or this film and gone with this person, and they were all extremely solid ways to go.
I think that Terry, when I first saw him, was kind of not multidimensional and not like a real human being. It was just like a kid with problems that would get better. But as I talked about with Aza, and the more he explained, like, this isn't just a character, you know, like, this is a real person that exists, and even though we're watching this movie or we're not watching the movie, the person still has a linear existence. This is the weirdest part about the audition process. I got a call and it was like, hey, Aza wants to meet with you one more time and talk things, but he wants you to go to his like house in Pasadena, and I was like, okay, cool, like another meeting, you know. And then I got a call from Aza that said, hey, can you come dressed in your pajamas?
Jacob offered, not only did he offer the confidence that I saw that Terry had, but he also offered this kind of incredible amount of humility and humanity. There wasn't one that was really better or worse than the other. It really came down to, once I start having the top people in my mind, and once John committed, because it really didn't have, once he did a reading and he responded to the script and he got more and more interested and then really started responding and then committed himself to playing Fitzgerald, I knew then I had this kind of base. and then I needed somebody that was going to work really well with him, and then that person needed to work really well with the person that was going to play Heather, or the person who was going to play Chad. So it just kind of, that's what it came down to, is how these people kind of work together, which is probably like the biggest lesson I learned making Terri.
And I love working with him. John was like, just pushed me to be something that I didn't know I could be as an actor. I mean, I look up to him as a comedian. He's like phenomenal. He gave great advice and like words of wisdom. Very funny. My favorite thing about John is that like when I first met him, you know, I was afraid and terrified and intimidated. But by the end, I felt like he was just like somebody that I've known for a long time and could really trust. You know, John was more of like the cool uncle, and then Creed was more of like that, like your grandma got a divorce and is like dating that cool dude, like that cool old guy. Like that's who Creed was. So I got like a cool step grandpa and like a really cool uncle during this whole experience. But Creed was not afraid to do weird things that I like to do.
Well, it's hard to breathe at the location today. It's hard to breathe. I feel my sinuses is starting to decay. So hard, it stinks so bad. Mama, get me back to L.A. All right, blow that thing.
I'd known him, and then I'd been getting more and more impressed with the work that I saw. He shot 2 close friends films that I thought, wow, like I want to work with this person. And then with Mama's Man, it was really important to me I just liked the idea of bringing in somebody that I felt could see things in a similar way, but was going to be a foreigner in this house and even in this country, you know, going into my parents' place and shooting it. And I couldn't have been happier with the results. And then with Terri, it was just a given, you know. I really gave him an early draft of Terri, and we were able to kind of have a discussion the same way that we were with Mama's Man really early on, so that by the time we were shooting, there was really not that many words that have to be said. Well, definitely the atmosphere, I would say, on set is probably one of the most important things. To control it the best I can is my relative circle, the people that I can get involved in the film, be the people who have really good energy and people that really are interested in doing something similar, making things that they care about. And those people generally seem to work with people that are like-minded, and I think it keeps trickling down that way. I think that is what happened on this set, because it was such a good feeling. I mean, it was such a good feeling that it actually worried me. I felt like this could be the flip side, where everybody's having a really good time and it's a really bad film. There's nobody there, you know. Like, I have Diaz who tells me, okay, you're going, like, this is not working. She can see things, and I know that she's seeing things in a way that sometimes I can tell me when something's stopped being truthful or not working. But it definitely worried me that I didn't want this thing to turn ever into a party either. It was just the right kind of people that kind of together could do something productive and hopefully in the direction that I wanted. That's cut.
We're cut.
I cannot tell you how nice an experience, incredible experience this was for me. I really appreciate you guys helping my dreams come true. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are the best.